Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, this time in the form of UFC Fight Night. We got some light heavyweight action. Jamal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. But before we do that, let's talk about last week. UFC Fight Night. Where was it at again? Atlanta, UFC Atlanta. We had Kamaru Usman taking on Joaquin Buckley. Everybody in the MMA sphere, from Twitter to YouTube to Instagram, had Joaquin Buckley, the individual, on a win streak, defeating Kamaru Usman, who was gone from the octagon for 600 plus days on a 3-fight losing streak. Usman came out, dominated, took him down, controlled him. We thought, Joaquin Buckley's takedown defense, his get-up game was going to be a little bit better, but just horrible game planning. He looked good in the 5th round, but it was a little too late for him to incorporate that game plan, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, on the night, I think I went 7 of 13 on my picks, whereas you went 9 of 13. Am I correct? And our bets hit as well. We got some live bets. We got some straight money line bets, some props, some parlays that hit as well. One of the interesting things from the card for myself was, Rodolfo Bellato winning an Oscar, having an Oscar-winning performance, man, with that knockout. My man got hit, not in the face. They slowed it down. He got hit in the shoulder, like somewhere around here. Fell backwards, looked at the ref as he was falling, and then passed out.
So it was in the shoulder then? It was confirmed?
It looked like it was like it missed his face, and then he fell, looked at the ref, fell backward, in my opinion, pretended to be knocked out, then came to, and then went back to the cage. We know what was weird about that? When he came to, he crawled backwards to the fence, and then he tried to grab the ref's leg. He protested to the ref and then tried to grab his leg. So little weird, man. But anyways, what are your thoughts overall? How you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. Always a vibe. I mean, we'll put the bets on. Like, we'll pick up the bets and talk about. So Kamaru, it's not that we weren't expecting that level of performance in Kamaru. It's just the ring rust, the mental. Bro was limping. There was videos of the guy coming out of the truck, bro, doing the little limp, and everyone was talking about it. So that adds fuel to the fire. And one of the things we discuss on the show is that if Kamaru is able to take him down and Buckley's not able to kind of react or right away, it's Kamaru's fight, and he Habib the shit out of Buckley.
Yep.
And it's what it was, and that was a good dog. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
that was a good dog. And I said it before we started recording, right? He did what Alex Volkanovski did, right? Yes. He just showed the young buck.
The
not
other
quite done hanging up yet.
No. But the other issue was, you look at Colby Covington, and we told ourselves he went to a competitive decision with Kamaru Usman. So it goes to show you that MMA math isn't really there, because technically Buckley should have dominated, but he did it, and he was good. And look, if Buckley were to have gone for the kill a little bit more, champ, he would have got, because he was connecting at the end. But yeah, I mean, where do you go with Joaquin Buckley after this? You need to work on your wrestling. You need to get better. You need to go hire you got the money now, bro. Hire a fucking fight of the night. Hire a wrestler, like a wrestling coach, bro.
And I think one of the things that the commentating team said, and I think you mentioned it in the past as well, in Bo Nickel and the Ritter fight, is sometimes when you're in camp, you don't have people challenging you, like you're the top dog, right? So when you're dominating everybody, your confidence is through the roof, right? So like you mentioned, get a wrestling coach, get somebody who grapples, and really hone in on that, because we know he has the power, we know he has the striking, we know he has the speed, we know he has the wild hooks, the blitzing, and all that. It's just honing in on that wrestling and that stand-up game, and we'll see what happens with him in the future. Who they put him up against, man? Maybe since he's number 8, I think he's ranked number 8 or 7. Maybe they do Carlos Prates.
I mean, that's a good fight, and
maybe they do Carlos Prates. Maybe they, who knows?
I just more than anything, I hope that, you know what it is, Murcielago. Remember we had El Toro? We did an interview with El Toro, Conor McGregor, and he was high on Buckley. But let's face it, these smaller camps don't have that level of coach. So like we don't know how much coaching, like how much Joaquin was dictating what his camp was versus his coach was. Like I don't know, that's. But you go to a Colorado, like bro, it's actually shocking to see like the two coaches, because now Kamaru is working with Henry Hooft and what's the other coach from Colorado? They used to be Rose's coach as well.
Pat.
Which one?
Pat? Did you say Pat? I don't know his last
name. No, not Pat. The other one. The one that Justin Gaethje coach. I forgot the name now.
Forget his name.
Yeah, it's not Perillo. But anyways, two big coaches. So I think Gully just needs a bit better. Joaquin just needs another another coach to support him. It's the same era when GSP was champion. He had Faraz Sahabi and he had Greg Jackson. So I think it would benefit Joaquin to be, to get a coach. Another example is Merab. When Merab goes out, Merab has Longo and now he has Wood, right? Mm-hmm. So, bro, let's get to that next caliber. If these other guys are doing it, this is the next level.
Yeah. And then, looking at the bets here, we had a row money line, Horth Demopoulos over 2.5, Horth Demopoulos by decision, live, Simone, Smotherman goes to decision. I had the bet when it was at dog money, under 1.5 for Wellmaker Moutinho. You called it live as well. Edmund money line, and then Namajunas and Maverick over 2.5. Yes, so that's what we had. The Rowe money line decision, that fight kind of upset me because it wasn't like Rowe. Rowe withstood, the onslaught from Lusa. Lusa, incorporated some of the wrestling. He was piecing him up early on. But I honestly think, and I stand by it, that the change of, yes, he tagged him in the third round, but the change of course was that mouth guard falling off. When you lose your mouthpiece, the absorption of punches is significantly different, right? And for him to hold, and I don't know if Luso was waiting for the ref to pause, allow him to put in his mouthpiece. But when you're held up against the cage and you're just getting hit in the chin, you're gonna crumble, right? But it is what it is, man. I think I'm gonna fade Rowe in the future because he did look bad up until the end. But it is what it is. He got the dub, man, and he was a dog, right? Dog money.
Did he win Performance of the Night or anything like that?
I think he won a bonus knockout or something like that. He tweeted about winning 6 figures for the first time.
Great. So get a coach, bro. Work on that striking. Work on your defense, because, bro, we love fighters that have good range. But what's the point of having good range if you're not going to use it, or you're not going to carry the distance out? A little bit more distant. There's a Canadian dude that faced what's this guy's name? Smotherman. Remember the Selkie? What's the Canadian dude? City. And you got to see that City evolved after a couple things. I don't think Rowe is evolving. I don't think Rowe just had a good second and third round, right? But it was just the mouth guard. I put money on Rowe. I was very happy. It wasn't even that spread. It was almost even. But heading into round number 3, Rowe Lusa was the favorite at a minus 1,000. So
yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
In consideration how much, you were saying, how much the impact. But I think Lusa was also fatigued, tired.
Yeah, of course. There's other factors. I'm not saying that that's the sole reason he lost, but it does have some part of effect, right?
Yeah, and then we look at I think Simon and Smotherman. I called it live on the X. It's just Simon is not fighting. Ricky Simone is not fighting. Ricky Simone is not fighting for his job anymore. Yeah. So he doesn't have to go berserker. Ricky Simone is a decision machine. Let's be honest, controls. And Smotherman just came in, early. The thing you sent me where Ricky told him you're in jail, and my man
said,
under
arrest.
You're under arrest. He said, my man, that's racist.
During the fight, and then
he was playing.
Yeah, no, I get it. In 2025, you got to be extremely careful what you say, right? Cancel culture is still about, but fuck all that.
Shout the Trump and free speech, and he's trying to get him, and it worked because my man was emotional at the end. So
yeah, it's all mind games. And then one last thing I wanted to bring up was the Michael Chiesa and who did he fight? Who was that? What was his name again? Court McGee and Michael Chiesa. How do you give Michael Chiesa 30-27, brother? When that fight was dead even?
I had Chiesa, but I really wasn't really
I
trusting.
had Chiesa winning. I like after the third, like going into the third round, I had it dead even. In the third round, he won that fight. But how do you give him a 30-27?
He looked horrible. Like I didn't care if he won or lost. Like I really
Yeah.
nobody cared about that match. I'll be honest with you, my man. What you gonna fight again? Like because if so,
No.
like who are you gonna fight?
Yeah.
And then lastly, Edmund. Remember we talked about it. He's locked in.
Well, that jab, there was a significant height difference, size difference in the two. I think Andre
Speed.
Petrosky wasn't able to close the distance, and he wasn't able to get past the jab. Edmund, we talked about Edmund Shabazian's boxing and his striking ability, and he utilized that jab really well, keeping him at range, and not letting him close the distance, level change, and get that takedown. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and what I was going to say, Edmund is training in Las Vegas now. Has a new head coach. I think it's Wood or the other guy. There's two very good coaches in Vegas. Syndicate, I think it is, or Syndicate or Extreme Couture. I don't remember. But he's, as I called, he was locked in. The thing is, like with the other guy, I just think it's a coaching thing. It's if you feel me, like Ronda sparring with all these women, not getting better but getting knocked out. You feel me? Yeah. So I think it's that. I don't know how many sparring partners that you're bringing. So now he's fighting good caliber. Sparring partner. So yeah, man, did great. Also the speed advantage, insane. But yeah, and then Namajunas and Rose, and yeah, I can't believe Rose got it done. But I would like to see.
No, I can't believe she got it done. I can't believe it. I don't know.
Go to strawweight. You're better at straw. I think she's better at strawweight.
Yeah, I can't believe though she got it done. I had her winning. She was gonna win a decision.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we have it. There is our full card recap. I mean, not even the full card. It's just our brief recap. We used to do the full card recap independently, and then we used to do it on this show, and then we realized, oh, no one's going to watch us for 2 hours. Nobody barely watches us at 45 minutes. So we kind of condensed it. But here we go. We got UFC heading out to Baku, Azerbaijan. Hill versus Rountree. Kicking off the card, we have Muhammad Usman, Kamaru Usman's brother. And the last name is about all they share because they do not fight the same. Taking on Hamdi Abdelwahab. Usman is 10-4-0 and is 3-5 in the last 5. Last losing to Thomas Peterson via unanimous decision. Hamdi Abdelwahab is 4-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5. Last beating Jamal Pogues via split decision, where a lot of people, even Pogues, felt that he lost that fight. Pogues was released from the UFC. He released that video on X. I think it was on Instagram or X, where he's like, man, fuck. Like he went off. He went off on the judges. He went off on Hamdi. He went off on everybody and kind of went viral for a bit. So anyways, we have Usman. As I mentioned, he's Kamaru's brother. He's big. He's athletic. He's not good anywhere, in my opinion. But, he's big. He's a big heavyweight. He's taken on Hamdi, who's an Olympic wrestler. He does utilize his striking to set up his takedowns. But both these fighters tend to gas. So, I don't know, man. Are we going to have like a sluggish fight that just looks horrible? I think we're going to have that. But I think Hamdi's going to get some key takedowns here. He's going to get the dub. He's. Yeah,
and I had Hamdi in his last fight. This is, you don't know what you're going to get with Hamdi, right? Like, I know, he tested positive for some steroid with Dante O'Mays.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's, like, not as big as these other guys. Like, let's face it. Like, my man.
He's an undersized heavyweight, huh?
Yeah, he has a lot of muscle, but he if there was a cruiserweight division, he would go to cruiserweight. Versus Usman. Like, Usman's coming off 2 losses in a row. He's not that good. See, that's my man's a decision machine.
Yeah, he gasses. That's his thing. He gasses, but he does have the reach advantage over Hamdi. And I know you like reach. You think he keeps him at bay, or you think Hamdi closes the distance?
Hamdi was getting tired in his last couple of fights too.
Like, yeah, well, they both do. Yeah.
Yeah, and the question is who's gonna. Yeah, I just think Hamdi has the better wrestling. I'm gonna go with Hamdi. It's just
he's an Olympic wrestler, man. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the thing is, he knows how to lean on you, and he knows even if he's gonna be tired, he's gonna survive. With Usman, go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you don't what?
No, I don't think Usman. And like for 236 is the Cain Velasquez, the Junior Dos Santos, a Fedor weight class. Like that's like he's not. He gasses too quickly. I don't know what it is. I just don't think, because if he could keep him aside with the jab, but I don't think he gets that done. I don't say.
Okay.
I just wish Kamaru would train with him a little bit more. Like, hey, little bro.
We don't know their relationship, bro.
They're good. Apparently, they're good. They're good, but you don't know.
Yeah,
I feel you. But yeah,
we got some big boys kicking off the card. We're both gonna go with Hamdi Abdelwahab to get the dub. He also talked about, in his post-fight presser, how he himself wasn't impressed with his performance, and that how he vows to bring in a better game plan and to look better in his next fight. So let's see. We'll give him a chance here. We're picking him to be victorious. Next up, we have some flyweights. We go from the big boys to the little men. I don't want to say little men, but to the slimmer men, right? To the slimmer, faster men, because I'm pretty sure these guys are won't take kind to being called small men, little men. Anyways, we got Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Azat Maksum. Ulanbekov is 16-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5, last beating Clayton Carpenter via unanimous decision at UFC 311, I believe. Maksum is 15-1-0 and is 4-5, last losing to Charles Johnson via unanimous decision. Now, when you look at Azat, he is well-rounded. He has good striking and good grappling. He's well composed. His last loss to Charles Johnson showed, if I rewatched that fight, and Charles Johnson was able to take him down twice in that fight. Johnson, however, does have a wrestling background. He doesn't necessarily always use it. He likes to keep the fight standing on his feet. Tagir, and if you're familiar with Tagir Ulanbekov, he comes out of the Nurmagomedov camp. He's a come forward grappler. He looks to push the pace, looks to wrestle. He attempts takedowns until he's successful. And if he doesn't take you down, he doesn't just take you down, he controls you, right? He has that strong grip, that strong control time on the ground. His striking is okay. He usually uses it to set up his takedowns. I think in this fight, Tagir should control the tempo. He should secure some key takedowns, neutralize Azat's power and output on the feet. Put him up against the fans, get some good takedowns. I think Tagir Ulanbekov gets it done here, man.
Yeah, I'm just looking at I want to look at the spread. Yeah, it's a minus 470 now.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, and like I think you judge the last fight with Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, I mean, I think Ulanbekov is better than Johnson. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Is a bit more complete. I liked how he kind of handled a undefeated fighter's Carpenter. I do think Carpenter just like took that fight too early as well. It just shows you that the dedication he has. Yeah, I think it's justified. Like, I would want to kind of see if we can get him on a parlay or something. It's justified. The minus 470. Well, minus 295. I think minus 470 is like I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
I'm gonna just handle you.
Right. We're both going with Ulanbekov to get it done. Next up, we have some women's bantamweights going at it. We have Irina Alekseeva taking on Claudia Sygula. Now, Alekseeva is 5-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5, last losing to Melissa Mullins via unanimous decision. Sygula is 6-2-0 and is 4-5 in the last 5, last losing to Melissa Mullins via KO ground and pound. Both these chicks lost to Melissa Mullins last time out, who's also on this card. When you look at Sygula, she is a striker primarily. She moves forward, she moves around. She can move on the outside or fight within the clinch. She doesn't have the best takedown defense, nor does she have a good get-up game. Now, when you look at Irina, she's a former Sambo champion. She can strike, incorporate throws, takedowns, and work on the ground, searching for submissions. I think this fight is, it's very simple, right? You have somebody who can get the fight to the ground, somebody who can't get the fight to the ground, right? Who can't get up from getting taken down. So I think Irina here, my only concern is she's been out of the octagon for 2 years. This is her first fight back, so octagon rust, all that. But I think she should be good here. I think Irina gets it done. I'm gonna go with Irina.
She gets it done, and it's gonna be. Yeah, I just like Irina better, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think Sygula has proven herself yet. I don't think she's kind of a taste of that caliber. Let's see. This one might be a finish for me. Like if I'm up for to bet, I'm kind of leaning towards the finish. That's crazy, bro. Russian Ronda.
These nicknames. People need to stop comparing. But yeah, I agree. I think she can get the finish. Seeing how Sygula was able to be taken down and then finish with the ground and pound, I think we could see something similar to that within 2 rounds.
Yeah, because she
Maybe
was the
the
hammer,
under.
and she was the hammer of these other organizations. So we'll see. We'll see where she's at.
All right, we're both going with the arena. Next up, we have some bantamweight women going at it. We have Daria Zheleznyakova. Oh man, I can't say this. Zheleznyakova taking on Melissa Mullins. Daria is 9-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5. Last losing to Aileen Perez via submission. Mullins is 7-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5, last beating Claudia Sygula via KO, ground and pound. Now, Daira is primarily a striker. She likes to come forward, doesn't necessarily have the power behind her shots, but she continues to throw and isn't shy to exchange in a fist fight. She does, however, have poor takedown defense, as we saw at UFC Paris against Aileen Perez, right? Aileen Perez is primarily a pressure grappler. She came forward, took her down, got the submission, right? Mullins is a striker who throws with accuracy. She doesn't necessarily have the best striking defense. However, she can fight on the outside or within the clinch. She can secure takedowns and utilize her jiu-jitsu. This is a rematch. They've actually fought before outside of the UFC. And I think Mullins, she was victorious in that first fight. I think she's going to be victorious again here. I simply see it as Mullins having more tools. She has, Daira is the better striker of the two, but I think Mullins can hold her own. Her striking defense kind of worries me a little bit, but not too much. I think she can, get in the clinch, push her up against the cage, get some takedowns if needed. Yeah. So I think Mullins, as I mentioned, has the more tools. I think she's going to be able to push her up against the cage, secure a takedown or two, and win this fight, man. I'm going to go with Mullins.
The one thing that Daira had against Aline was reach and
size, right? A little bit bigger, 2 inches.
But our girl Aline is showcasing why she's like top dog, right? I think Mullen gets it done. Mullen gets her to the ground. Mullen is not going to have that issue. I don't know how much preparation. It's been 8 months since the Aileen Perez fight. So the question is, MMA Factory is a Cyril Gahn, the Cyril Gahn camp. How much preparation have they been doing when it comes to just guarding the takedown? A 9-2 fighter going up against a Melissa Mullins that beat her the first time, and it was less than 3 years ago. So realistically, it's right there. She's only fought 3 other times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Mullins. I would parlay Mullins in the Ulanbekov parlay.
Okay. And as always, guys, make sure you follow us on X. We do drop our picks, our parlays, our bets towards the end of the week.
Yes, sir.
So make sure you tap in at Combat Sport, guys. Show some love. We're not charging anything. We're not asking for anything. Just, show some support, show some love. Next up, we have some middleweights. We have Ismail Naurdiev taking on the Iron Turtle, Jun Young Park.
That's my guy.
Naurdiev is 24-7-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 fights. Last beating Bruno Silva via unanimous decision. This is his second stint in the UFC. He's fluctuated between middleweight and welterweight. He looks a lot better at middleweight, in my opinion. And, his first stint in the UFC, he didn't do too well. He left, did well on the regional scene, came back, and got a dub against Bruno Silva. Park is 18-6-0 and is 4-5 last beating Brad Tavares via split decision where could have gone either way, right? I remember that fight. You and me were both on opposing ends. When you look at Park, he's well-rounded. He utilizes his jab well. He doesn't have the best takedown defense. And in that fight against Tavares didn't attempt any takedowns in that fight. I think, going up against somebody like Ismail Naurdiev, he's an aggressive striker with a kickboxing background who can also grapple. And I think the key difference here, from the Brad Tavares fight, he's going to have the threat of grappling. And if that fight was strictly striking, right, which he beat via split decision. I think this fight is going to be a striking mixed in with grappling. I think Naurdiev is going to have some success with takedowns, with his striking as well. Kicks to the calf, kicks to the body, and then securing some key takedowns. So I'm going to go with Naurdiev to get it done here, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's enticing to put money on that, right? But Tavares is also good on the ground. Tavares could have taken him down.
Yeah, but he didn't attempt any. That's the thing. No. He didn't attempt any, and I think here Naurdiev is going to attempt some.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think here. I do like the Iron Turtle, but I don't like him at minus 225. I'll be honest with you. The odds have him at a minus 190. I would like to I'm going to go with the Turtle. and it's just because I've liked what he's done in his last couple of
Yeah.
fights. I just like what I've seen. The Muniz fight, the split decision, obviously grappling. But I'm banking on the fact that maybe he learned his lesson and that his takedown defense is going to be better. He's going to keep him at range a little bit more. Yeah, you see, that's the thing about it. Even like me talking about range, I look at his range and I'm like, fuck. Like, how much?
It's not just range; it's the pace too. This guy's like unlike a Brad Tavares, this guy's he's gonna come forward, off the bat.
Yeah, and
It's
like,
gonna be interesting to see how Park handles that.
yeah, I'm trying to be less gamba, less gambling, and more kind of
Less DJing, you mean?
yeah.
Less DJing, baby.
Let me check his last couple of fights. Organization. What happened here? Interesting.
Weight class, brother.
Oh, so that was
He goes through welterweight and middleweight, but I think middleweight looks a lot better.
looks a little bit more thinner, right? I'm gonna go with Park, and I might. I just want to see how he looks on the weigh-ins and go from there.
Okay,
but I don't agree with the odds. The odds should be a little bit closer.
A little bit closer, right? Yeah.
Should be a little bit
Yeah,
closer.
I think this is the first fight we're on opposing ends. You're going to go with Park. I'm going to go with Naurdiev. We'll move on here to the Korean Tyson, right? Is this the guy with the nickname the Korean Tyson? Oh, they changed his name to KO. They changed his name to KO.
Oh shit! So he's no, the Korean Tyson.
Yeah, this is the Korean Tyson. Remember we they changed his name though. Watch, because we broke it down last. He was supposed to fight a couple cards ago.
But didn't he knock somebody out? Or was it a different Tyson then?
It's a different Tyson. You're getting your Asian men confused, brother.
Yeah, that's crazy. KO.
Yeah, see his name. Yeah, it's Saekwon Ko. He's the Korean Tyson. Oh no, yeah,
it's a hard one, champ. I think the Korean zombie fought a couple weeks ago.
He's the Korean Tyson, but now he's the KO. Is his last name. We have Saekwon Ko taking on Oban Elliott. They both were supposed to be on another card fighting different opponents. Oban Elliott had visa issues, and I'm not sure why Saekwon Ko pulled out of his last fight. Do you know why? Let's see.
I don't know, but that minus 500 that I just saw right now from Elliott has me gagging.
Why?
Minus 500 Elliott? Like, you tell me, like...
It got canceled. He was supposed to fight Billy Ray Goff, and it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? Forgot why it got canceled.
Billy Ray Goff cost me money.
Give him the neck. Not sure why it got canceled, but yeah. Oh, they both had visa issues, Ko and Oban Elliott. Yeah. All right. So we got the Welsh gangster taking on the Korean Tyson. Elliott is 12-2-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Basil Hafez via KO. Ko is 11-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Igor Cavalcanti via unanimous decision. As we mentioned in the past, Ko is a versatile fighter with a balanced approach. He blends his striking and grappling. His striking isn't technically sound and he's less aggressive, but he likes to kind of utilize his space, fight at his pace. He isn't the most aggressive. He doesn't push forward. He doesn't push the pace. He does, however, have 5 KO wins and 3 submissions. But, he also can go to decisions, right? Because of the pace that he fights at. He doesn't necessarily always look for the kill, but he does have knockout power. You look at Elliott, he's well-rounded. He has good cardio. He's fast. He's athletic and has a decent takedown defense and grappling. He could bring this fight back to its feet if needed. Yeah, I think Elliott gets it done. I think Elliott is just a little bit better. I don't want to say better everywhere, but I think he has more tools to get it done here. So I'm going to go with Elliott. He should get the grappling going and hold his own on the feet up against Ko.
Yeah, I think he's being coached also by Chael once in a while. Chael coaches him, so he sees a lot of potential in this kid. And I just don't see it. I just think there's more things to be aware with Elliott versus KO. It's the striking. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, Ko has the power. He just doesn't have the volume. If he had the volume to match the power, right? Like he was active, then the odds would be a lot different, right? But he just kind of he just sits there and he just waits. So I don't know. He's kind of flat-footed too. I think Elliott's gonna win, man.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Elliott. Elliott's a lock.
Elliott. We're both on the side of Elliott. Next up, we have an interesting fight here. I like this fight. We have Mohamed Naimov taking on Bogdan Grad. Naimov is 12-3-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 fights. Last beating Khan Ofli via unanimous decision. Grad is 5-2-0 and is 4-5. Last beating Lucas Alexander via KO. Naimov is well-rounded. He's fast. He has good grappling. He can fight within the clinch. You know, he doesn't. He technically. He has good cardio, but he technically doesn't have the KO power, right? He typically goes to decisions in a lot of his fights. And I'll give you the full record here on how much finishes and whatnot he has. Naimov. Where's Naimov at? Hillman. Why is that his nickname? Hillman.
Which one?
I'm looking at him. Yeah. So a lot of his KO victories come from outside of the UFC and other promotions, but within the UFC, he's had a right hook to ground and pound at Jamie Malarkey, but it's Jamie Malarkey, right? Decision unanimous to Nathaniel Wood. He had a leg injury against Eric Silva. He won via doctor stoppage, right? Eric Silva injured his leg. He lost via rear naked choke to Felipe Lima, and he beat Khan Ofli via unanimous decision. Khan Ofli is primarily a wrestler. He doesn't really have the striking. He was unable to put him away, right? I mean, if you remember that fight, he was able to neutralize a lot of the grappling, get him up against the fence, and just was the bigger of the two. Grad, I think Grad, if I'm not mistaken, was his last fight his debut?
Yeah.
I think his last fight was his debut. Yeah. So Grad, you know, he's a decent striker. He's not too flashy or powerful, but he's technical, and he's a grappler with grit. My only concern with him is that last time out, he was getting hit a lot in the face up against Luke Alexander, and then he incorporated the wrestling and he got it done, right? He composed himself, but that was his UFC debut. So how much was jitters? How much was nervousness? You know, excitement. You know, he was able to compose himself later on and, you know, pull it back in and get the W. I like Bogdan Grad. He's kind of crazy, man. He reminds me a lot like the guy that fought 2 cards ago, Gustafsson, right? Just out there and just gets it done. So
he's like Marab. He's like an unpolished Marab. But I did like Naimov.
Naimov looked good. He had the kicks to the body. I remember he was throwing some vicious kicks to the body on Khan Ofli. He was pushing him up against the fence, stopping the takedowns. He should. I mean, the odds are accurate, but I just like Bogdan Grad as a dog here, man. He's not
a bad dog. He's also
we often talk about value, right? I think at plus 180, I might sprinkle some money on him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Naimov win. He's the more polished fighter, I would say, right? But he's going up against somebody with dog, man. I don't think he's gonna put him out.
Yeah, but he could easily like outdance the shit out of him, like with his last rear naked choke. And this is where, you know, you kind of have to ask yourself, like, nah, man, I'm going with Naimov, man. Like, I like Nathaniel Wood. Like, I think Nathaniel Wood is a lock. And the fact that he was able to put hands on Wood, take him to a decision, control him, grind him, I think, unless Grad's defense is better, then we have a situation. But I'm going to go with Naimov.
We're going to learn a little bit. Yeah,
I
just pure value. I like Grad here at a plus 180. I like what I saw from his first fight.
Not bad. I just like the activity. I just think Grad is a little bit more sloppy and Naimov is a little bit more polished. I look at the camp and I tell myself with the Elevation Fight team, you know they're conditioning this man to like, chip it, bro. You like chip it, bro. You know he's going to come in for conditioning, bro. I don't think takedown is going to be an issue. Like taking this guy down, it's not going to be an issue.
How this is what I wanted to look at. I didn't get to look at it early. Like you look at Khan Ofli, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to compare this to Bogdan. With my internet speeds up. Okay. You look at Khan Ofli. He's 5'7". Okay. It's not that much shorter. I thought he was like 5'6", 5'5". Okay. I wanted to see the height discrepancy between the two. 5'7". Okay. Never mind. Next up, we have Nazim Sadykhov taking on Nicholas Motta. Now, Sadykhov is 10-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5, last beating Ismail Bonfim via KO. Motta is 15-5-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5, last beating Maheshate Hayasar via unanimous decision. Now, when you look at Motta, he's a good, fast, technical striker with nice boxing and good good technique. He keeps the fight standing and has good takedown defense. He has the speed. he has the speed advantage over Sadykhov, but I believe Sadykhov is the better striker. You look at Sadykhov, he's a technical, solid kickboxer with slick movement, right? He has good lateral movement. He has that Blaydes stance. He keeps the pace slow until once he gets his reads in and then amps up the pressure. We saw that against Bonfim, right? Remember that in that first round, we're like, oh man, I think I even messaged like, oh man, he looks a little slow, he looks a little flat. And what happened? He came out, boom, landed a head kick, I think, and then from then on the fight progressed. And I think he got an eye poke, right? And it was like a technical KO or something like that. Was that
for
against Bonfim? Wasn't it an eye poke?
No,
doctor stoppage, right? I thought he poked him in the eye, and he was like, "No, I'm good.
No, it was
that's what happened."
Is this cat trains with like Longo and?
No, I know where he trains, but I think against Bonfim, he let's see, Bonfim.
I like Sadykhov. Sadykhov, I was bullish for him from the start. I think the question is going to be, can Nicholas take him down? Right. I think that's what we're betting on. We're betting on the fact that this guy. Yeah, let me know. We're betting on the fact that if Motta can take him down, I don't think so. I think this guy has very good footwork to evade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be evading those shots. So,
no, I agree. I think Sadykhov gets it done here, man.
Yeah, I just don't like these odds because you give me Sadykhov. He's a minus 460 now. You gave me Sadykhov. Big favorites in this card, eh? I don't like it when they're that huge. Like, it's just there's more value on the underdog.
Yeah, this was the fight where the doctor, it was a female doctor, and she asked him, "Can you see?" And he said yes. And then they asked him,
but was it a spinning head kick? Was it a spinning kick? Was something related to the kick, right?
I forget, man. I don't know if he got kicked and then he got eye poked. There was an accidental eye poke, and then they stopped it. I forget, man. I watched this too. I forget. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
No. What I was gonna say that I just like Sadykhov, man. I just think Sadykhov has the footwork. He has the explosive power, bro. He has that Vitor Belfort kind of like power that I like very fast twitch, very quick, elusive on his feet. Motta has a shot. Do not get me wrong. Like the boys at Extreme Couture have invested in Motta, but I don't see it. I don't. If you ask me who wins Sadykhov or Manuel Torres, I would tell you Sadykhov beats Manuel Torres off the bat.
Which Torres?
Manuel Torres. Yeah, your guy.
Manuel Torres.
Fought at the Sphere.
Manuel Torres? Is it Miguel Torres or Manuel Torres?
Manuel Torres. I think Manuel Torres fought at the Sphere. But fuck it, Sadykhov. I'm going Sadykhov.
Oh, so now I remember. So he did rock him with the leg kick, and then he put him up against the fence, and he was able to hit some strikes, and then he had a cut on his eye, and in between the rounds, the doctor checked on him, and there was a language barrier where he said some things, and then the doctor ended the fight. That's what it was. Okay.
It's okay, brother.
I don't know why I thought it was an eye poke. Next up, we have Mitabek Orolbai taking on Tofik Musayev.
Fucking hell.
This is Orolbai all day. Orolbai is 13-2-1 and is 4-5 last, losing to Mateusz Rebecki via split decision. Where, if you remember that fight, it was at UFC 308. He had a big like his eye looked like the side of his face looked like it was about to grow a second head. Yep. Musayev is 22-5-0 and is 3-5 last, beating Koji Takeda via KO. This is his UFC debut. Orolbai is a tough, durable dude. He is primarily a grappler, but doesn't shy away from a fist fight. He's unfinishable, as we mentioned last time out. His face was so swelled up that he continued to move forward, continue to apply the pressure, continue to engage in the striking and search for takedowns. He applies the pressure when it comes to wrestling and his grappling. Musayev is fighting after 2 years, and this is his UFC debut. He's an aggressive, powerful striker who can grapple. He can finish you on the feet or the ground. However, he's 35 years old. He's been away from the octagon for 2 years, and this is his debut. I think they literally just got him for this fight because he's from the area. He's from the region. I think Orolbai is going to be the pick for me, man.
Orolbai should have. Listen, I'll be honest with you. The dog that Rebecki was in his last fight, nobody was expecting that, brother.
That was a great fight, man. That was on the undercard too.
Yeah, well,
I
because he
love that fight. That was such a
came
good
in
fight.
violent, bro. That motherfucker came in violent, and he took,
Yeah.
bro. That was violence 101. Good fight if anybody hasn't seen it. But I'm expecting or Bali to kind of go. I think there's levels, and we're going to see very high levels of Bali kind of come up, and from Kazakhstan. I don't know how far. I don't think it's Kyrgyzstan and Azerbaijan local guys. It's not that far. It's not that far, right? It's actually
Yeah.
they're close by. I want to see the odds because I have a feeling that my man
They have him as a favorite. It's kind of even, but towards the favorite.
towards the favorite. Let me just double check.
Minus 170, it looks like now. I haven't checked on my sportsbook yet.
He is a minus 165. Okay, so the odds are giving this other cat some value. I like that. This is a money line bet. This is or Bali money line bet. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think it's a decision victory, or yeah, Orolbai gets it done here, in my opinion. Next up, we have Curtis Blaydes. We have some big boys going at it. We got Curtis Blaydes taking on Rizvan Kuniev. You talk about Hamdi being accused of taking supplements. Kuniev, he beat Renan Ferreira in the PFL, but that fight was later on overturned, I believe. The decision was overturned because he tested positive. Blaydes is 18-5-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Tom Aspinall via KO. Sucks, man. You go for one day fighting for the UFC heavyweight interim championship to, being on a fight night, man. But he was supposed. This fight got rescheduled like 4 times, right? This fight was supposed to be on a pay-per-view.
Blaydes became sick and ill.
Yeah, it was supposed to be on a pay-per-view undercard, I believe. I forget which one. But yeah, it got rescheduled a couple times. Kuniev is 13-2-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Hugo Cunha via KO. Blaydes, he has a wrestling background. He has the most takedowns in UFC heavyweight history. However, in recent years, he hasn't utilized his wrestling. He does have functional striking. He uses his jab and low kicks to set up his takedowns. His durability is notable. However, he has been chinned in the past, as I mentioned, up against elite strikers like Francis Ngannou, Sergey Pavlovich, Aspinall, to name a few. He's going up against Kuniev, who's a well-rounded Dagestani fighter with a strong wrestling base and a decent striking game. He's coming off in his fight in the Dana White Contender Series. He showed how he does have finishing power. He put away his opponent. He put him up against the cage. He has the ability to put you up against the cage, throw in some vicious elbows or some strikes and fight within the clinch.
Yeah.
His cardio and durability, however, haven't been tested at this level in the UFC, right? Like, how is he going to look in the 3rd round? If Blaydes comes in, how I hope he comes in, right? Establishing the wrestling, tiring him out. How's his cardio going to look? But it's interesting, right? When you have 2 people who have a wrestling base and background, they necessarily don't engage in the grappling, right? What do? They strike. Right. So who do you think is the better striker? And do you think we're going to fall into that trap of picking Curtis Blaydes because he has the UFC experience that we love and everything?
Yeah. 100% we're going to pick.
Yeah, we're going to pick. I'm going to pick her. I'm just trying to break it down to the people, right? Or does he engage in a fist fight up against this guy, get caught up in something, gets caught with an elbow in the clinch, right? Or something that puts him out, because we have seen Blaydes go out.
Who's better, Jailton Almeida or Rizvan Kuniev?
Based on what I've seen in the level competition, Almeida. But Kuniev, I don't know, man. We'll see what he brings to the table. I'm going to go with Curtis Blaydes, though. I'm hoping he comes in and wrestles this guy and has a smart game plan, man.
He's gonna look switch it up, like that's a motivated Curtis Blaydes is a very dangerous Curtis Blaydes, and I gotta say Curtis Blaydes right now sitting at a minus 240 entices me. It entices me to pull money from my account and put a parlay with him or Bali or Bay. So I might F around with that parlay. I think
you're effing around a lot. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been good. That's a plus.
You don't bet on heavyweights, man. Heavyweights are
Nah. Curtis Blaydes.
It's like women, bro. It's like women's MMA, bro. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Crazy. My man. Wow. Then Pavlos, bro. You gotta remember the Pavlos that knocked out Curtis Blaydes. That was
yeah. But I said this last time we broke it down. If I'm Curtis Blaydes, I'm feeling very disrespected. I go from fighting for the championship, bro, fighting for the title, to fighting some dude in his debut. Like, what are we doing?
because there's nobody to fight right now.
And what are we
Everybody,
doing, right? So hopefully he comes in with that killer mindset and takes him out. So I'm going
dude.
with Blaydes all day.
Look what Topology did with John Jones,
We
and
got number 2, bro. They're trying to make the fight happen, bro.
that's crazy. The boys, that's fine.
Listen, brother,
Volkov is probably waiting on.
there's an old saying, bro. You never meet your heroes, bro. You know, John Jones. I know he's let you down a lot in the past, man. We're not gonna mention why or how, but I know he's let you down a lot with certain actions, certain decisions.
No, I like bro. The fact that the boys got Shamil at number 9 worldwide. What are we doing here, bro? What's going
Yeah,
on?
man, he's a fan favorite though, but yeah. So we're both going with Blaydes, right? We'll move on to our next fight. We got some lightweights. We got Rafael Fiziev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Fiziev, he's the only fighter I believe that's actually from Azerbaijan. I don't know if I said that right. Let me.
Oh, the other guy,
There's 2, right? 2 fighters, Azerbaijan,
Tofis.
and he's the co-main event. Fiziev is 12-4-0 and is 2-5, last losing to Justin Gaethje via unanimous decision. Bahamondes is 17-5-0 and is 4-5, last beating Jalen Turner via submission. Fiziev, as we mentioned, he came off of an injury and looked good. He had good movement and was sound against Justin Gaethje. That was one of my concerns, right? Like, how's his movement going to look coming off of an injury, right? Coming off of surgery and whatnot. He has solid striking. He has that Muay Thai base and a decent grappling game. He can be technical or get into a dogfight. He's going up against Bahamondes, who is a long, rangy striker. He has good striking and good footwork and power. His takedown defense is good because he's so big from the division, right? Like, how hard is it to take down somebody who's 6'3" when you're 5'7", 5'8", right? He's a big lightweight. We also saw that he does have a ground game. We saw him get the submission win up against Jalen Turner. And he's training in that camp out of Chicago with the former champ Bilal Muhammad and them. And I know a lot of people are high on Rafael Fiziev because, I think it was, who was the fight? I think it was Ludovic Klein.
Gamrot. There was
No, I'm talking about Bahamondes.
Turner last fight. Then he's been performing well.
It was the Ludovic Klein fight. It was the Ludovic Klein fight where he lost via unanimous decision, and Ludovic Klein was able to secure some key takedowns, right? So people are picking Fiziev because they also think that he's going to have the wrestling threat. But in order to incorporate the wrestling, you're going to have to close in the distance, right? And use your striking to set up those takedowns. And I don't know, I think since that fight, which was 2 years ago, Bahamondes has grown as a fighter, right? I think Bahamondes is, inching his way up towards the top, and I think he gets it done here, man. I'm going to go with Bahamondes. I like his striking. I like the range. I like the size advantage. It's just, how's that takedown defense going to look? And we'll find out, man.
I think for what we've seen from Bahamondes is that he's able to be, like, I think he's going to have range.
Yeah.
Rafael brings speed, and it's insane speed.
Yeah.
Also fought 3 months ago. I don't think he should have fought that quickly. It's just the UFC needed a co-main event. We got a hometown boy coming up, so we got to pay love. I'm gonna go with Bahamondes. I'm going for the fact that I think he's dialed into what his prime is now. I think he understands that he's not going Rafael's going to have to be quick, and is going to have to get in the inside.
Get in the inside, be quick. Yeah.
Bahamondes is going to try to snipe him from the outside. Probably kind of get a submission, get a takedown. I just, the Gaethje fight was he took what, like 2 years? Took almost 2 years off, fights Gaethje. Looked off in the third round, right? Gaethje just poured it on him. I'm gonna go with Bahamondes.
I think the key difference here is going to be the range, man. And we saw, if you look at his fight against Manuel Torres at UFC Noche, Torres came out a lot. Even I picked Torres. A lot of people were on the fact that Torres is going to come out. He's going to be the more aggressive striker. He was going to come out hot, and he caught him with that counter, right? And then he does a good job of reading his opponents and formulating game plans around their fighting style. And I think up against Fiziev, who he knows has the striking threat and the grappling threat, he's going to keep this fight at range. I think he's going to utilize the kicks to beat at his legs, use some body kicks and then kind of just wear him down. So I think he's going to keep him at range, man.
Yeah, Bahamondes has all the potential to to win. Let's see. Like the good thing about these odds, champ, is that you get them for throw. Like
It's
they have.
even. And I think closer to fight night, it's going to be a dog. I think
Well,
Bahamondes will be a dog.
Bahamondes is the favorite right now. It's minus 133. You can
Yeah.
get Rafael right now at a dog at a plus 112. So,
Yeah. No, I think Bahamondes gets it done, man.
but it's risky. It's
Because even after his fight with Gaethje, Fiziev was talking about going down to featherweight. So maybe this might be his last dance at lightweight, man, then going down to featherweight.
well, that's also. I was going to kind of bring that up, and I
I
forgot.
know you love talking about moving weight classes. Bring it up.
But that's what it is. Like it's. Can we be honest? And he's severely undersized because you look at who he's beat, and you say, okay, RDA was RDA at that caliber? No, I think RDA was. He stopped him, but then Gaethje majority decision. But Gaethje's Gaethje. Let's be honest, right? Gaethje's like he's the top 3 in that division. Yeah, Bahamondes all the way. Let's see. But after this, just cut down. Cut down.
Cut down, go to featherweight, and then we'll move from there. Next up, we have our main event. We have a light heavyweight bout. Jamal Hill, the former light heavyweight champion, taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. Hill is 12-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5, losing to Jiri Prochaska via KO ground and pound. Rountree is 13-6-0 and is 4-5, losing to Alex Pereira via KO in the 4th round. Now you look at Hill, as we mentioned in the past, he's a power puncher with accuracy behind his strikes. I have, however, and I will continue to do so, criticize his movement. In my opinion, he has bad movement. You see it in the Glover fight. He's flat-footed. He doesn't dance around. He has the power, but his movement is something I criticize heavily. I don't like it. He was slow up against Jiri, meaning that while Jiri slipped all his punches, Jiri was able to come back and land 1 or 2 after he threw 1 or 2. He has had foot injuries time after time, which has caused them to pull out of fights. An example, up against Pereira, up against Rountree, his fights got postponed due to his consistent leg injuries. You look at Rountree, he's a Muay Thai striker who can dictate the pace, pressure of the fight. He's fast. He looked good against Pereira. He exceeded everybody's expectations, right? Everybody thought Pereira was going to get him out of there earlier. That fight was at elevation. So when you're fighting at elevation, coupled with getting hit consistently, he gassed out in that 4th round. And he looked, he was trying to hang in there, and Pereira put the pace on him and got him out of there. I think in this fight, 2 things could happen, right? Like if you're on the side of Hill, you look at who he's fought, right? And you look at the size, you look at the reach, and you look at the level of competition. He's fought the better competition, right? There's no argument behind that. But if you look at Rountree, unlike the Pereira fight, I think in this fight, we're going to see him utilize more of that Muay Thai, like, those leg kicks, fighting within the clinch, right? Like being more versatile. Because in Pereira, he kind of got stuck in that, fist fight, that striking fight. And he was unable to close the distance against Pereira, get in the clinch. So I think here it's going to be a good fight, man. It can go either way, in my opinion. I don't even know what the odds are at. Who's the favorite? Oh, wow.
It's even.
Shit, it's at minus 155. I thought it was a lot closer.
No, but it's even now. Odds went closer to Hill's the even.
I'm gonna go with Rountree, man. I think Rountree's gonna utilize kicks. He's gonna utilize that oblique kick. Utilize kicks to the body, kicks to the calves, and hopefully break. Close the distance, get in the pocket. Get in the clinch, put him up against the fence, and land some heavy shots, some significant strikes. Jamal Hill, man, he looked lean. I'll say that. In his last, I saw UFC uploaded a video of him. He looked a lot leaner, more in shape. So maybe we'll see him a lot faster. Maybe we'll see him improve from his last performance where I don't want to say he looked sluggish, but Jiri looked faster than him, right? Like Jiri's striking defense was a lot better in that fight than we seen from him in the past, right? Like one thing we criticize about Jiri is, man, he likes to get hit. He leaves his face there, right? Waiting for you to hit him, but he was able to slip a lot of the punches. So we'll see. We'll see how Hill looks, man, but he looked good physically, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Rountree. The difference here is
you changed. I thought you were gonna go with Hill.
Yeah, I looked at his wins and his losses, and I looked at the time span, and then I remember how stiff he was and how he's not bad. He's good. It's just I think this is not the same Rountree from 2 years ago. This is a Rountree that almost knocked out Pereira. Can we say that?
Yeah,
Is
he
that
landed
accurate?
some good strikes. Yeah.
Kind of clipped him. He didn't go striking with Pereira because of the reach, but I do think he will go striking with Hill. And
he
I
didn't
think
utilize takedowns too. He said he wasn't going to take him down, and he didn't do any grappling against Pereira.
Rountree? Rountree? Yeah, it's just the stamina. Let's be honest with you, bro. Like that stamina,
elevation, big boy.
Yeah, elevation. That's actually shitty if you actually consider where they took these boys. Like, take these boys somewhere where they gotta. You imagine it was Perez that, hey, elevation. This boy's a big boy. I'll fight him in elevation. I just don't like. I'm same with you. I just don't like the flat feet, the Michael Johnson scuba feet. I don't like that. Respectfully, I don't like that. I think the thing is, Hill's very good with snipe shots. Like, he's very good with the jab, with the cross.
Yeah,
but I think Rountree catches his feet. You feel me? He's gonna be able to kind of clip him hard. Yeah, and I feel too like, look, Rountree has money now and has invest. Like, if you look at this fight, when's the last fight? 8 months ago versus 4 months ago. I think Rountree took the money and spent training and taking care of himself.
And this fight was supposed to happen at UFC 303 when it was Conor McGregor versus Chandler. This was supposed to be the co-main, but then Conor pulled out. Right? He had the toe injury. Then Jamal pulled out because he had his foot injury, and then in comes in Pereira, in comes in Jiri, right, for the main event, and we get Diego Lopez and Ige. But this fight was supposed to happen last year, and it hasn't happened. And I think this was supposed to be the main event prior to UFC Atlanta, whatever that fight night was. It was supposed to be the main event, right?
So yeah,
and it got postponed because of Hill's foot injury. So he's had consistent foot injuries or leg injuries, however you want to call it. And I just don't know how he's going to look, man. I just don't know. We don't know how serious it is if he's coming into these fights compromised, like you like to say, right? Maybe that's compromising his movement a lot.
Yeah. Who? Hill. You know, I think he's good. I think it's very risky, but like I said, I'm taking this fight because Rountree looked better against Pereira. Hill had a very good chance against.
Be careful with MMA math.
No, I'm not gonna play MMA math. But I will say that Hill was fading at the end. But I just think that Rountree has it locked down. The thing is, if Rountree doesn't win, it's bad because then it's gonna be like, you got that title shot because you were number 7. So
yeah.
But also, Hill has something to prove here. Hill's last significant win was over Teixeira. Old man Teixeira. Then prior to that was Thiago Santos. Where's Thiago Santos right now? Crickets. Yeah. Johnny Walker. Crickets as well. So if we look at the fighters, well, you can't really say shit because Anthony Smith also retired.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight. I forgot. He was supposed to fight Oberg. I didn't realize that.
Who? Rountree?
Hill.
Really?
He was supposed to fight Oberg in 2024 and it got canceled.
Isn't it crazy that Oberg won, John, and nobody gives a fuck about Oberg now? Nobody cares about seeing him fight.
Because they didn't like the way he won, bro.
But that's the thing. And to me, John won that fight. Like, John has a weird way of getting these, did it with Pereira, did it with Oberg. They feed the Polish power.
He pulled out of that fight because he had a knee injury, bro.
Got it.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, we're both going to Rountree. Rountree, Hill is not Usman. Well, yeah, man.
This was supposed to be the main event for the UFC Des Moines, where Machado, Gary, and Prates were the main event. This was supposed to be the main event. So,
Hill was leaner when he fought at the Contender Series.
Yeah,
he's actually look how lean he looks there. He hasn't looked that way since.
Pull up the video from the UFC, bro. Look how lean. I don't know if you saw it. Go to Twitter and put UFC or on X. Yeah, UFC X.
Which one? Just
It's just the post, bro. I don't know how recent it was. I saw it before we got on. Not now. They're hyping my boy.
We gotta talk about this. This is a good This is dope, bro.
I haven't watched it. I'll let you talk about it after. Go down. Go down. Go down. Just promo. Go down. Nope, down. There's like a video of him shirtless. Go down.
Damn, my boy.
You'll see.
Oh,
Duplessis versus who?
Hamza.
Oh, Hamza is official. Oh yeah. I
Chicago.
thought it got postponed, bro. I got scared for a second.
Chicago. That's weird. Why Chicago? That's weird.
Chicago, man. They haven't been there in years, bro. Make some money.
They were there the other day. What are you talking about? They were there the other day.
They weren't there. They were in ATL, bro. You gotta know your geography, bro.
The other day, brother. The other day isn't me yesterday, bro.
Right there. This one. Look how lean he looks.
Ah, bro.
Look how lean he looks, bro. He doesn't have the belly like he did against Pereira, man. He looks a lot leaner. What are you talking about? Compare that to the fight against Pereira and Jiri. He looks leaner.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I also think
you immediately said nah. You don't like it?
Nah, bro. I just like this. Like, bro, this is look at this.
Yeah, he's young there. He's what, 30?
He's young. This was like, bro, no, I can't. That
was the Contender Series. How many years ago was that? How many years ago was that?
That was 6 years ago. Yeah,
bro. He was 28, bro. 27. He was in his prime.
6 years ago.
Yeah, he was 28.
6 years ago. Paul Krieg. Yeah, man. I mean, let's see what's gonna happen. I mean, like, does he get it? I'll tell you something right now. If my man loses, my man's gonna have to cut to middleweight.
Get out of here, bro. Yeah, that's one of your favorite things to say when someone loses. Hey, they gotta go.
How much do you want to bet if my man loses? We're gonna
listen. Do you think with all the stuff that's happening in the world, do you think this fight? Because you think it still happens in Baku?
Absolutely, it needs to happen.
Do you think the card still happens though, with all the stuff happening in Iran and Israel?
It will. Okay. Probably Dana got into Trump and like, look, brother, you gotta chill the fuck out. You gotta relax.
What is Dana talking about there? Whitaker versus Ritter versus the Ritter.
Whitaker versus Ritter.
We'll talk about that.
I sent you this match. So basically, Showers fighting Mark Andre. I think Andre, man, pressure. Really?
Attack the right side. Andre's been looking good in his last two fights. Now, did he win last fight against Silva? Didn't he give him that?
But Silva's mentally checked out. Like Andre got knocked out.
Before that, who did he?
Got knocked out by Pfeiffer.
Stolfoots. He beat Stolfoots.
No, Stofu knocked him out. You had money on Stofu.
Am I tripping? I'm probably tripping.
Yeah, you're tripping.
Stolfoots rest. Yeah.
Stofu knocked him. Rest. I don't think he knocked him out. He knocked him out.
Let's see. Hold on. Mark Andre Barrios.
Aaron Pico, bro. Ooh, that's a good fight.
Bro, I'm done fucking these Bellator debutants. Bro, get out of here, bro.
Be nice, bro.
Mix, bro. Patchy Mix, Pitbull, bro. Pitbull.
I am going for Masvar. Masvar is the.
Oh, I'm tripping, bro. Oh yeah, I'm tripping. I don't know who I was thinking about. Yeah, it's gonna.
Mark Andre knocked out.
Yeah. Silva. Yeah. Okay, my fault.
It's okay.
I don't know who I was thinking of. But anyways, I was gonna ask you. Oh, talk about the BJJ thing. It's basically the Tough Enough, right? It's basically the Ultimate Fighter, right? Version.
But it's dope.
But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. So like, if you like, and that's the thing about it, right? For people that haven't seen this level of jiu-jitsu, look at it. Look how.
That's a big mat, man.
But
that's kind of like it's kind of set up like what is that promotion called? It's kind of like Karate Combat, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But they made it that way. And it's free on, bro. This is what high level of jiu-jitsu actually looks like. And I like it that they were like, let's get the younger guys, so the younger guys can kind of duke it out, and because they're quicker. Why would you have a heavyweight that's gonna move slow in jiu-jitsu? Have the younger guys. And
for the first season, right? To kind of get it.
Yeah, I just like this. This is what the UFC should do, and they should do a Muay Thai, and then eventually a kickboxing, and then you're building.
Dana said he has no interest in doing kickboxing.
He will do it. He will. Like if this has a base, that has a base. If it makes money, he's gonna have to do it. Just hire.
Well, you know what I like about this is that it allows fighters after they retire an opportunity of employment, right? because I think Claudia Gadelia is part of it, right? Like she runs it.
Exactly. She runs it.
She runs it, and then you have Mikey, who's the poster boy for it, right? So it'll be cool to give some fighters that opportunity of employment after.
But now you have Power Slap, you have BJJ, UFC BJJ. Now you have so you have like what is turning into the WWE format, right? Because UFC Pi Fest was good for the other promotions, but then you know. A couple of fighters have been a little bit outspoken about, like a couple of jiu-jitsu practitioners, like Craig Jones. Is like, I can make money elsewhere. It's like you're Craig Jones. You can make money anywhere. But these smaller cats, this is how they make money. This is how they get established, right?
Yeah.
And bro, you gotta check it out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. And that's basically it. Yeah.
Have you been watching the new Ultimate Fighter?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it.
Joe and Daniel.
It's good.
Entertaining. It's good. They did it. Typically, they'll have one weight class, right, based on the weight class of the coaches, right? That's typically how they do it. But this time they divided it up to flyweights. I think it's flyweights and welterweights.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have like two teams. So they had it's interesting.
Can we be honest here, champ? We're gonna watch DC and Chael hit it up. That's what we're there for.
There's some good fighters on there. There's a guy who got cut from the UFC. He's back on there. He's probably one of the most liked to win it all. He's pretty good.
Really? What's the name?
Fuck, I forget his name.
I'm sorry. I'll try to get it tonight. I'll try to
I forget his name.
Watch it tonight. But yeah, good recap. We'll be uploading this live, and
we'll drop our picks. We'll drop our bets, guys. As always, make sure you follow us. Show some love. We'll be back next week with UFC 317. Ilia Topuria up against Charles Oliveira for the UFC Lightweight Championship, the vacant Lightweight Championship. It's going to be a banger fight, banger of a card. We'll break that down next week. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Any parting words, my man?
Take us home, baby. See you Sunday. See you Saturday.
Take us home. Love what you love. Do what you do.
Peace.
Peace. Oh, shit.